Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. Thanks for joining for my monthly Project Pan update. I'm really excited to do this. We're about 3 months into the year now, so a fourth of the way through, which is kind of crazy when you put it in those terms. But the way I do my Project Pan, if you're not familiar with it, I have 5 makeup items that I'm working on at the same time that I'm trying to completely use up the product in. And once I finish a product, I roll it out and then I roll something else in. So I always have 5 items going at the same time. I try to pick items that are in different categories so I don't have a ton of overlap, but at the same time, I don't necessarily always stick to the rule of whatever I finish, I then have to replace with something from that same category, if that makes sense. But I am excited for this month's update. We do have one empty, so that will be at the end. So stay tuned for that, and then I will be rolling in a new item then as well. So if you want to see the progress that I've made on my 5 items, then just keep watching. Alright, so let's jump in and start off with the Smashbox Contour Palette. I definitely feel like I have made progress this month, especially on the contour shade. This one, you know, the pan is expanding very slowly but surely, and I do feel like I'm wearing it down to where it's becoming more of a dip and less flat. So we'll see. I think I'm about at the point though where I might scrape out both of these and mix them together and repress it into one pan. I find that that's I'm mixing the colors together anyway. I'm not really sticking to any hard and fast rule that this is only what I use for contouring, this is only what I use for bronzing. I just kind of swirl my brush in both at this point and use it that way. So I think I'll mix them together for next time and kind of start working that way, and then at the same time go ahead and start scraping this one out and mixing it into some lotion. Not that I don't always use lotion year round, I do in the winter, but I feel like now that it's, you know, getting warmer, it'll be nice to have like a tiny bit of glow or shimmer in my lotion. So I think I will do that for next time. So hopefully the palette will look very different in the next update. And also it will be weighing a lot less. So I don't really know if weighing it going forward is worth anything. Unless, you know, at the end we just want to see how much the packaging weighed in general versus the product. But yeah, so here's what we're looking like. I'm really hoping still that I can finish the bronzers off, the bronzer and contour shades off by like June, because if you watched my planning to pan video a couple weeks ago, I have a mini NARS bronzer that I really like to use, but it is darker. So I feel like I really can only use that in the summer, and I really want to start using that this summer, which of course there's no rule. I can always stop working on this for a minute, jump to the NARS, and then jump back, but it would be so nice to just have this completely finished before I change over. So here's what we're looking like. Gonna keep pushing forward, repress it for next time, and we will see how far we get in April. The next product is the Wet n Wild Bronzing Stick. So this is what I've been using for my cream bronzer for the past few months. I definitely feel like it's getting shorter and shorter, slowly but surely. And, you know, it's just one of those things where you're not always using a ton of product. I just do like a little swipe on both my cheeks, a little swipe on my forehead, and then a little bit on my nose. So at the end of the day, I'm not using a ton of product, but I think I might start doing more cream products in the summer. That's typically what I like to do when the temperatures get warmer, stick more to cream products rather than powder. So I could see myself also kind of trying to start using this maybe as like a crease for my eyeshadow, stuff like that. So yeah, let me know if you have any other ideas for maybe trying to use this up a little faster. It's hard because there's only so many ways you can really use a bronzing stick. But yeah, making progress. It doesn't always look like it. The weight doesn't really change, or it just kind of fluctuates weirdly. So, you know, it's hard to see progress, but I definitely can tell from last month that it is getting stubbier and stubbier. Next we have my e.l.f. Camo Foundation Powder, and this is the product that just will not end. So I definitely expanded the pan a little bit, not as much as I was anticipating, and I think it's just packed in here so tightly and like firmly that I just feel like it's taking forever to get through. And like I've always said before, I never want to be like hate panning something, but this is one of those products where I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm like, can you just be done, please? Because I'm ready to move on. Also, as I keep saying, we're getting into the warmer months. I'm spending more time outside. So this powder is definitely, I think by the end of April, going to be too light for me. So again, there's no rule saying that I can't swap this out for something else and come back to it later in the year, but I would just really like to use it up and be done. So I'm just going to really try in April to focus on using this really consistently more than I did this month. I kind of backed off a little bit. I didn't wear makeup as much in March just for a handful of reasons, but April I'm going to be back to it. I have more things going on, so I really want to try and get the most out of this that I can in April, maybe use it up, but based on the progress I've made, I don't know if that's going to be possible. I mean, I think the layer that's in there is super thin. It's just, you know, a matter of hitting that point where every time you're expanding the pan. So definitely making progress, just much slower than I would anticipate. I would like to know if anybody else has used up one of these and if they felt like it took them a lot longer than you would think. Like in some ways it's good. You want to get your money's worth and have a product last a long time, but at the same time, when it's becoming not the right color for you, you're kind of like, I want to get my money's worth and use it up. So we're kind of in that sweet spot right now of hopefully that's what happens. Next, we have my ABH brow powder in the blonde shade. Again, this never really looks that different. The weight doesn't really seem to change, but it's just such a small product. But I do use this every single time I do my brows. I've definitely expanded the pan around the edge, in the middle. I was trying to kind of connect these two little pans for a while, but you know, we didn't quite get there this month. So I definitely think, I think I said this in the last video, I think this is going to be a product, even though it's so small and it doesn't look like there's a ton in there, I think this is going to take me the entirety of 2024 to use up. But again, I'm okay with that. This is like a $20 or $25 product, so this is definitely showing me that it is worth your money. It lasts a long time because again, you're not using a ton. At least I'm not. Maybe some people use a lot of product when they're doing their brows. I do not. So I think it just helps, you know, make them a little fluffier and softer. And I've enjoyed using it so far. I had been using a pencil for so long, and so going back to powder was kind of a nice change of pace. So I kind of feel like that might be the name of my game going forward, kind of switch back and forth year to year depending on what product I have on hand. So yeah, here's the progress. Maybe we'll connect these pans. You can see a tiny pinprick of a pan over here, so maybe we'll have a couple more little dots of pan in there next time around. And now for the grand finale of the item that we finally used up, but not going to be a surprise. It's the e.l.f. lipstick in the color Tea Rose. Can't do it up anymore. You could like dig that out, but I'm just like, I'm not here for that. Like, I've used this as much as I can. This was a skinny lipstick. I was able to kind of scrape out a tiny bit and get the last little bit on my lips today, so you can see what the color was. Definitely a cool toned pink. But again, ready to move on from this. It was super nice. It's easy to wear. It's flattering, but since it is a cool toned pink, I do feel like that worked well for the past 3 months, but I'm ready to move on to some different lip colors and lip combos that are a little warmer for summertime. So excited to have rolled this out. This is one of those products, it's a good lesson and reminder that even sometimes inexpensive products, like I believe when I bought this only costs like $4 or $5. They don't make this exact product anymore, but it only costs $4 or $5, but it's taken me years to use up. I mean, I was never using it as consistently as I just did for the past 3 months, but like, even so, even it taking, you know, 3 to 4 to 5 months to use up this product that only costs $4 or $5, it's just a reminder of like, it's nice to have options, but you want to be able to use all your options consistently and get your money's worth. So definitely something to think about even with products from e.l.f. So since that's gone, we can now roll in a new product. So I went back and looked at my planning to pan list from the video I made a couple weeks ago. And I've actually made quite a bit of progress on a few of those items just naturally. And you might see some of those along with the e.l.f. again in next week's video, which is going to be my quarterly empties video, where I will go through all of the beauty, skincare, and makeup items that I used up in the first quarter of the year, so January through March. But I went back to that video, kind of got some ideas, and decided that, you know what, because of the 4 other products I have in here being face products, I still wanted to stick to incorporating a lip product into the rotation. So I picked the oldest lip liner in my collection, my Makeup Forever Aqua Lip in 3C. And it's just a nice, neutral, slightly darker lip shade that I think will be really nice for everyday wear. I wear it a lot anyway for that. But again, something that, you know, will be easy to incorporate into an everyday look for me. And yeah, there's really not that much of this left at the end of the day. It's pretty short. Like, let's look at it compared to this e.l.f. lipstick. So, you know, we've worn it down quite a bit. So here's what we're starting with. I might not weigh this going forward because I weighed it this time and I think it only weighs like 3 grams, and I just don't think it's going to show a lot of progress in the weight. But if we look at the packaging, we are right at where it says Makeup Forever. So I think that's how I'm going to measure it going forward, just how far down the logo did I sharpen each month. So I don't know, I think this could still take a while for me to use up because there is quite a bit of product left, and I don't think this is going to be quite the right color for me to also use as a cheek product, because that was what I was also doing with this, using it as a cream blush. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that as easily with this. This is a little dark, especially since we're going into summer. So we'll see. But I'm excited to kind of use this. I do love this lip liner, and even though it's the oldest one in my collection, it is still creamy and works great. So there's something to be said for that. It works just fine still. So I'm excited to use this and incorporate it into the 5 products going forward. So I hope that you enjoyed that update. It's always exciting when I have an empty to report. Let me know if you're project panning and how it's going for you. Give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified of all of my upcoming videos. Like I said, next week is going to be my empties for the first quarter of the year, so that will be exciting. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.